We're tracking more developments. The United States State Department has announced that it will revoke the visa of Colombian President Gustavo Petro, citing his actions during a pro-Palestinian protest outside the United Nations headquarters in New York. They have branded these actions as reckless and incendiary. Petro, who was returning to Bogota at that time, joined thousands of demonstrators outside the United Nations headquarters, urging US soldiers to disobey orders and calling for the creation of a World Salvation Army in order to enforce international justice and support Palestine. Listen in.
Estados Unidos, por eso, desde aquí, desde Nueva York, le pido a todos los soldados del ejército de los Estados Unidos no apuntar contra la humanidad sus fusiles. Desobedezcan la orden de Trump. Obedezcan la orden de la humanidad.
Colombian officials and Petro's office has not immediately responded to requests for comment. The decision adds to tensions already which are strained as far as the US-Colombia relations are concerned under Petro, the country's first left-wing president, whose administration has severed ties with Israel and condemned its military action in Gaza. With us on the broadcast is Dr. Satoru Nagao, fellow at the Hudson Institute, joining us live from Tokyo in Japan. Thank you for taking our time speaking to us on NewsX World. What, in your assessment, are the implications of Colombian President Petro's call for US soldiers to disobey orders? What implications does this have for US-Colombia diplomatic relations, which are already strained?
This action proves that the influence of the United Nations is declining, because the United Nations shows a relatively strong influence in the 1990s when the United States supported the United Nations very strongly. But now the US government is right and the United Nations is left. So a political opinion gap between US and United Nations is a completely different side of the political side. So that's why now the United Nations lose influence in the international politics. Then this incident is symbolic to show such kind of situation, I think.
Indeed, and you mentioned about the United Nations being a little left-leaning as well. We do know that Gustavo Petro is Colombia's first left-wing president. That's not the only country in Latin America with which the Trump administration, that the United States is at odds with. We also see it's at odds with Venezuela. So taking a look at the broader aspect, how is this now going to shape up ties of the US and approach of the US towards countries in Latin America which are left-leaning?
Yes, that is a very concerning point, because the Trump administration focusing on the US influence in the American continent from the Greenland to the southern edge of the Latin America. So that's why the Venezuela is the first target, and send the military and punishing the or destroying the drug cartels. This is not a regime change, but at the same time, Trump administration show their strength in the American continent. So now many military officers, leaders, generals, admirals gather in the America, and they are talking about a very big project, I think. But in this case, there is a possibility that Latin America or other part of the American continent could be the target of the new military operations. So that's why if the Colombian president tried to stand as a front runner of the anti-US movement, of course, view from the United States, they will not accept such kind of attitude itself, I think. So that's why the current situation is a little bit concerning point. What kind of strategy the US government will choose to the American continent, is matter of concern, and it will soon, we will see, I think.
All right, sir. With that, I would like to thank you for taking out time, sharing your analysis with us on NewsX World. We are shifting focus to more developments coming in. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has expressed confidence that the AUKUS nuclear submarine deal with the United States and Britain will move forward after meeting his British counterpart Keir Starmer. The Australian Prime Minister is on a visit to the United Kingdom, where he stated that both nations are strongly building support for each other. The AUKUS Pact, remember, was signed in 2021 to provide Australia with nuclear-powered attack submarines. At present, only the US, UK, France, China, Russia and India have the technology to deploy and operate nuclear-powered submarines. AUKUS intends to provide Australia with this capability in the Indo-Pacific region as well. However, the Trump administration is undertaking a formal review of AUKUS, raising questions about the future of this pact. The Australian Prime Minister is set to meet Donald Trump in Washington on 20th October. The meeting between the leaders may indicate the progress of the AUKUS pact. Well, viewers, due to paucity of time, this is all we have for this bulletin. More news and updates on the other side.